Everyone thinks that teens in our world today use alcohol, tobacco, or drugs to cope with everyday struggles. You may think they do.
But they don't. Welcome to the But They Don't podcast, a podcast for teens, by teens. Join us as we cover substance use prevention, mental health, community conversations, and more.
Welcome to the But They Don't podcast. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Katie. This is the second podcast of the summer. I'm so excited.
Katie, what's your favorite part about summer?
Getting to sleep in.
I love that part too.
Did you say you got up at like 11?
Yeah, I did get up at 11, but you're not supposed to make that public.
It's okay. I mean, I'm sure other people sleep in until like 2.
Oh yeah. So my favorite part is probably like going to camps and getting ice cream with my friends.
Yeah,
love ice cream.
Yeah, and we have a camp coming up. I'm so excited.
Yes, I know.
Well,
me too.
it's next month, but
Yeah.
close enough. On this week's podcast, we're going to be talking about mental health and suicide. So this is a warning to our listeners. This episode may be hard for some of you guys to hear.
If you need to talk to someone after this episode, we encourage you to seek help. We'll link some suicide prevention lines in the description. We're here for you also as well. Now, just because someone is struggling with their mental health does not mean that they're always suicidal.
Exactly, but the two of them can really go hand in hand.
Suicide is one of the biggest leading causes of death. There were 45,979 deaths in 2020, which is about a death every 11 minutes.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the number of people who have either thought about it or attempted it is even higher than that.
Right. It's estimated that like 12.2 million adults seriously thought about suicide, and 3.2 million planned a suicide attempt, and 1.2 million attempted suicide.
Suicide is unfortunately something that has affected teenagers, especially in 2020 because of COVID and we were all shut down and stuck in our houses. Suicide was actually the second leading cause of deaths for teens.
Right. Suicide and suicide attempts cause serious emotional and physical and economic impacts. People who attempt suicide and survive may experience serious injuries that can have long-term effects on their health. They may also experience depression and other mental health concerns. The good news is that more than 90% of the people who attempt suicide and survive never go on to die by suicide.
Suicide and suicide attempts affect the health and well-being of friends, loved ones, co-workers, and the community. When people die by suicide, their surviving family and friends may experience shock, anger, guilt, symptoms of anxiety or depression, and may even experience thoughts of suicide themselves.
One of the hardest things that I ever struggled with was when one of my friends texted me telling me how they wanted to end their life. So in those situations, it's important to know how to help your friend. As soon as that happened, I called a trusted adult, which was one of my youth group leaders.
Yeah, and telling someone is the best thing that you can do for someone. It's really important to go and get that help, if it's you, if it's someone else, etc.
Right. And since then, my friend has come so far, and I'm so proud of her. Thankfully, I knew what to do in that situation. So here are some tips if you think your friends could possibly be suicidal, and how to help them, and some signs to look out for.
Yeah. So, talking about wanting to die or wanting to kill oneself, looking for a way to kill oneself, talking about feeling hopeless or having no purpose, talking about being a burden to others, withdrawing or isolating themselves.
If you think someone might be suicidal or are showing these signs, be direct and talk openly about suicide. Be willing to listen to them and so that they can express their feelings. And because that's actually one of the most important ones, because that's how you're able to tell if this is a serious situation or not. Don't lecture them about their value of life.
If you sit there and lecture them, it's probably not going to help. They're just going to sit there and be like, can you shut up already?
Right. It's
like,
not whether suicide is right or wrong and if their feelings are good or bad. They just need the help.
Yeah.
Become available and show them support by getting involved in their life. Because if they're feeling hopeless, like no one's there for them, like they don't really matter, like that's what they need at that very moment. And it's very important, do not be sworn to secrecy. Tell an adult that you trust, like a guidance counselor, coach, teacher, parent, youth pastor, youth leader, etc.
Yeah. If you ever struggle with something, we will always be here. And we'll link our accounts below. We're also going to have the suicide prevention lines, like we said earlier, are going to be linked down there. So if you ever feel like something's going on, if you feel like you're not enough, just text us, because trust me, you're enough. You're the reason we're doing this.
We hope that this helped you and you know what to do if someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide.
If you yourself are struggling with thoughts of suicide, please reach out to someone you trust, a friend, teacher, guidance counselor, etc. Or you can reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is 800-273-8255.
It's a 24-hour line, and you can text or call, and they will directly connect you to a skilled, trained crisis worker. They'll listen to you and understand how your problem is affecting you, provide support, and get the help you need.
Yeah, and starting this July 16th, you can actually use a 3-digit code to call them, which is going to be 988.
So before we end this episode, Katie, can you share with us some of the events that are coming up?
Yeah, so June 25th, we're going to be hosting an awesome event, The Bounce Back. Join us at Larry Bagwell Gymnasium in Easley, which is the Easley Rack. And it's going to be a family-friendly afternoon of carnival games. So come hang out with us, and the first 125 people that get through the door, get a free door prize. The Nomadic Fused Shaved Ice truck will be there, and the blood connection will be set up. If you donate blood, you'll receive a $10 e-gift card. Thank you for listening to this week's episode.
Make sure to follow us on social media, Instagram and TikTok at We Are PCYB, and Facebook at Pickens County Youth Board.
Have a great weekend.